G'day fellas, how you going? So, as you might know, I went down to Sydney a few weekends ago to attend Smash. We ate lots, we walked lots, we talked lots, and we just drank a heap of coffee, but we had a really good time overall. For the convention itself, I brought down two costumes, Hero from Darling in the Franxx and Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! However, on the plane trip down and back, I was forced to squash my own wig under the seat just to get it on the plane. It was obviously a little bit upsetting, but it turned out okay in the end. From this experience, I took away a few valuable things that I can keep in mind for the future, and I wanted to share those with you guys today. So, let's see what I learned. So, with any delicate costume or prop, you obviously want to ensure that you pack it nicely so it doesn't get broken when you transport it. For this wig, I couldn't really figure out any reliable, safe or cost-effective method of transporting it down, so I thought it'd be a good idea to just take it on the plane with me as carry-on luggage. But as my luck would have it, it was too big to keep on my lap or down by my feet, so I was asked to either put it in the overhead locker or squash it underneath the seat in front of me. And obviously I wasn't really happy with either of these, but I prefer to try keep it in my sight at least, so I ended up squashing it underneath the seat, and it turned out a little bit something like this. Now, obviously the flight attendant was just doing their job. There were probably a few things that I could have done before the flight to prevent any of this, but, you know, it was a bit upsetting and getting grumpy really wouldn't have helped anybody. But from this, it really made me think of conventions as well, where your costume might just fall apart one day, or somebody accidentally runs into you and your costume breaks apart. And unfortunately, accidents do happen. So the real question is, if your costume breaks before or during a convention, how do you prevent that from ruining your entire weekend? So for me, I complied with the flight attendant, I squashed my wig underneath the seat as best as I could, and just accepted the fact that my costume would be somewhat ruined. So I started thinking, and I contemplated three things. The first thing, would I be able to fix it? For a costume, if it breaks, it can be fixed. Most of the time. For a wig like this, usually a bit of hairspray and some heat will fix it up just fine. And fortunately for cosplayers like us, repair stations are usually located at conventions these days more commonly, so you'll find stuff like hot glue or duct tape becoming available as you need it. So if it can be fixed, problem solved. No need to waste a good worry. But in the case that the wig was totally trashed or I didn't pack the right tools needed to fix it, I also thought, can I wear something else? Sure, you might have been planning to wear this big costume for months, or you wanted to go join in this big group cosplay, but there's usually always something else that you can wear. Perhaps you have a backup costume, something that's easier to wear, something more comfortable, more practical, has pockets. Hey, it's sounding better than your original costume already. So sometimes accidents happen, sometimes plans fall through, and sometimes you don't even have a backup costume. Which also got me thinking about the third thing. If I can't fix it, if I've got nothing else to wear, can I still enjoy myself? Now, to some people this might be a bit of a weird thing to ask, but once you start cosplaying to conventions and it becomes a bit of the norm for you, it kind of seems a bit odd to not cosplay to conventions. So I stopped and thought to myself, you know, even if I'm not wearing cosplay this weekend, I'm still going to enjoy myself. But instead of concentrating on keeping my costume in check and taking photos, I can still catch up with people, check out the con, do some shopping, sit down on a panel, play some games. Plenty to do at a con that I usually don't get to do in cosplay. I mean, you will feel a little bit out of place since most of your friends might be wearing cosplay, or the main focus of attending conventions these days is usually to show off your newest costume. But no cosplay also means no props to carry around, no uncomfy shoes to wear, no tight wigs to wear, no uncomfortable contacts to wear. You know, cosplaying at a convention kind of sucks. But fortunately for me, I did manage to fix up my wig and wear my costume in the end, so it really wasn't too big of a deal. But it was a bit of a different story a few years back when myself and my cosplay partner at the time had to withdraw from a national cosplay competition because of a few mishaps we had with our costumes. After working so hard to prepare for the competition day for months and months on end, it was a little bit disheartening for things to not go our way in the end and having to withdraw. But it was a really good experience for us because it helped us realise that we can still have a lot of fun at conventions out of big costumes, and we could use that extra time to prepare for the next convention. Because after all, no matter how much it might suck having to miss out on an event in which you can cosplay with your friends, there's always going to be another time in which you can cosplay again. G'day guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I know everyone's had some kind of cosplay malfunction before and it's a real bother to deal with. So let me know, what kind of cosplay troubles have you had to experience before and have you dealt with it? Let me know in the comments below. Love to read what you guys have to say. As always, thanks very much for watching guys. Hope everyone's doing well and you're working hard at whatever you're working at. But I'll catch you guys in another video next week. Bye.